Good morning, listeners out there. This is Mizani-Alexis from Shaw University. I am currently interviewing Anthony Epps, class of 2017, Shaw University alumni, magna cum laude. Mr. Epps is currently attending grad school at Central University, studying pre-law. Mr. Epps, how are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions about your student involvement while you were at Shaw, and what would you do to make it better? The first question is, why were you involved on campus?
The reason why I was involved on campus is because I wanted to spend my time effectively on campus in the midst of getting an education. So I didn't want to get an education and still be one of those students that I didn't have a life or I didn't have any other organizations to attend to. And being in different organizations around campus kept me steady and kept me planning well, because when I know I had other things to do, I planned accordingly.
So, did you think your social life changed when you joined organizations on campus?
I would say yes, because social lives, well, organizations on campus, they bring out your social life because you have to be amongst the other students, and you have to interact amongst the other students. If you're not in an organization on campus, you're more likely to be to yourself. You're more likely to go to your room after class or after the caf. But if you are in an organization, you have other things to do.
Um, did you jump into like joining organizations where you were a freshman, or did you wait it out to see what you liked, or how did that process go for you?
Well, my freshman year, I jumped into the band, marching band, Platinum Sound Marching Band, because I did band all through my middle school and high school years. So when I learned that Shaw University had a band, I pretty much, jumped onto it because I knew that getting to the band my freshman year will introduce me to friends and family members before I could even start school.
Okay. So you were a part of Platinum Sound. Were you a part of any other organizations?
Yes, I was a part of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, and my senior year I was also Mr. Homecoming, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
So what would you say what would help students get more involved on Shaw University? Like, what would you change to make it more so focused on pride instead of popularity? What would you do to change that situation on Shaw?
I think I would change the perception of Shaw and the perception that students have on Shaw, because a lot of people, if you interview them nowadays, they say that Shaw is boring or there's nothing to do at Shaw other than go to class. You have to go out there and explore. As many things to do at Shaw University. You just have to go out there and explore your options.
So, did you participate in any community service as you were in school? Like, did you do community service events with the band or Mr. Homecoming? Like, did you have any type of service that regarded to the people around you, not at just school?
Yeah, so with the band, we did performances with Chavis Park, and we did performances at many middle schools and elementary schools around the location. We went out and cleaned up the community. We just helped out the community and also having fun at the same time.
So, who do you think is responsible for informing you that there are different organizations on campus or activities going on? Who do you think should be responsible to let you guys, well, now that you're out of school, who do you think is responsible to let students know now that there are things going on in school that y'all should get involved in, or there's things on campus that we do that are not boring?
I think it's the job of the student leaders and the presidents of each organization. They need to go out and, go to the yard and just talk to different students that they haven't seen before and introduce themselves and say, you know what, we have an organization on this campus. What are your interests? And if if the interests fit your organization, you can introduce them to the organization. You can tell them, we might be having an interest meeting or a meeting that introduces you to the organization. Because if people don't know about it, they won't join.
Correct. Okay, and that is a wrap with Mr. Anthony Epps. Mr. Epps, I want to thank you for doing this phone interview with me. I am wishing you great luck on your future endeavors at Central University, North Carolina Central University as well.
Exactly.
And I want to thank you.
Thank you for having me.